Hi. Once upon a time, there lived a girl with her mother. They were a very poor family. Now, this mother worked in a rich man's kitchen as the main cook. So, every day when she got back home, she used to bring a small bag of rice for her and her daughter, and they used to cook this rice for themselves and eat their food. One day, when the mother came back, she told her daughter that today I brought a little extra rice, so we shall use this for tomorrow's food too. So the next morning, what the mother did was she cleaned the rice and spread it on a big plate and put it on the terrace and told her daughter to take care of the rice and not allow birds or animals to come and peck at it. So the small girl, Varsha, she was called, she sat near the plate of rice on the terrace with a small stick in her small hands and guarded the plate of rice. And soon, crows, sparrows, and squirrels started coming and they tried to peck at the rice. And every time a bird or a squirrel came near, she would say, "Take only a few grains, do not complete the entire plate because my mother might scold me." So, the squirrel, the birds, and the crows, etc., would just come, peck at the rice, and pick a few grains and eat them and fly away. As it was noon, suddenly she saw something big flying down. And this she saw was a golden bird which flew down to the terrace and tried to peck at the grains of rice on the plate where Varsha was sitting. Now, Varsha was surprised because this bird was a huge golden bird and the bird looked quite old too. Now, the bird asked her, "Can I take a few grains of rice? I feel really hungry." And Varsha, being a good child, said, "Oh, yes, you may take a few grains of rice from this plate, but make sure that you do not empty the plate because my mother might scold me." Now, this bird started pecking at the grains, and little by little, the entire plate was over. There was not a grain of rice left in that plate now. And this made Varsha anxious and worried. So the bird said, "In order that your mother should not scold you, you please follow me. I will take you to my house and give you something in return which will never make your mother angry." So Varsha followed the bird on the road as the huge golden bird flew just above her head. And soon they reached a banyan tree, a huge old banyan tree, which was situated on the outskirts of the village. So she had come a long way away from her village and house. And this bird perched itself on top of the tree and told Varsha, Now, would you want a ladder to climb up and come into my house? And Varsha obviously said yes. Now he asked her, would you like a golden ladder? Or what kind of a ladder would you like to climb up the tree? And Varsha started thinking. All she knew about a ladder was a ladder is usually made out of bamboo. So she told the bird, yes, I would like to have a bamboo ladder to climb up. And soon, lo behold, a bamboo ladder appeared in front of her, and she climbed up the tree and entered this bird's house. And what did you think she saw? It was a beautiful house where the tables and chairs and sofas, everything was made out of pure glittering gold. So she looked around the house and she was quite impressed and thought that, oh yes, this bird looks golden and everything it owns is golden too. And the bird asked her, would you like to eat something? And Varsha replied, yes, I'm hungry. And the bird asked her, should I lay it on a golden plate? Varsha started thinking, and all she could think of was that whenever she was hungry, her mother would always cut 2 banana leaves and lay it on the floor and would serve rice and food for both of them. So she told the bird that I would like to eat on a banana leaf because food is usually tasty when eaten on a banana leaf. Now, this bird immediately does something and a banana leaf is laid in front of her, and the best delicious food varieties appear before her on the leaf, and she eats to her heart's content and she enjoys the food. As soon as she finishes her meal, the bird says, I have 3 boxes in front of you. You could choose to take back any one of these boxes back home. So she noticed that there were 3 golden boxes. One was big, one was medium, and another one was small. And now, thinking of how she was going to go back home, as it was already getting late, and carrying a heavy load, all that worried her. So she decided and told the bird that, yes, I would take the smallest box back home. And she thanked the bird. She got down the ladder and she returned back home. And when she went back home, her mother was anxiously waiting for her in front of her house. And they went inside and opened the box and saw that it was filled with the most precious gems on earth. And then this made them realize that it was not an ordinary bird, it was a magical bird. And now it was such a situation that the mother need not have to go for work again, because they had all the riches. They could sell and make a comfortable living for themselves. So now the mother set up a small shop for herself and started selling savories and sweetmeats, etc. And whatever money they got from this business, they were satisfied and they started living happily. Soon they started doing well and they became quite rich. Now, this worried one of Varsha's neighbors. There was a lady called Kapila who lived near them, and she was always so curious about what is that change that happened in their life that they have become so comfortable and luxurious. So one day she goes to Varsha's mother and talks to her, and Varsha's mother, being an innocent woman, tells her or narrates to her all that happened with Varsha. So Kapila decides that she would do the same thing as Varsha did. So the next day, Kapila takes a huge plate of grains filled to the brim, and she sits on the terrace, and obviously birds, squirrels, crows, etc. start coming, and she shoos them away. She says, she just shoos them away very rudely. And soon this great golden bird comes and flies and sits near her and asks her, could I eat a few grains from this plate? And Varsha's mother, Kapila immediately says, oh yes, you can take as much as you want, but you must give me something in return. Now, this bird agrees. The bird eats up a few grains and then asks Kapila to follow her. She goes as Varsha did, and the bird asks her, as soon as she reaches the banyan tree, what kind of a ladder would you want? And she, being a greedy woman, immediately says, a golden ladder. So a golden ladder appears in front of her. She climbs onto the top of the banyan tree, enters the house of this bird, and there she looks at the house and observes that everything is made out of gold. And the bird asks her, what kind of a plate would you want to eat on? And she obviously says, I need a golden plate. And the golden plate is laid before her, and she is served with all kinds of food. She eats it, and again the 3 boxes are kept in front of her, and the bird asks her to decide to take 1 box back home. And she, obviously being the greedy woman, she decides to take the biggest box back home. And what she does is she carries the box with great difficulty. She climbs down the ladder. She pulls along the ladder also, along with the box, the golden plate on which she had eaten, and she trudges along with great difficulty back home. As soon as she gets inside her house and locks the door, she observes that the golden plate had become an old, worn-out banana leaf. The ladder had changed itself into an old, rickety, broken-down ladder. And when she opens the box, she finds a black cobra hissing out at her. And this scared her so much that she ran for her life. And after that, this golden bird was never ever seen again. Now, after listening to this story, probably we could realize that it would have made us learn a few lessons. So with this, I end my story for today, and I'll come back soon with another one. Thank you.